The F1 Academy races in Canada were more entertaining than the F1 race, and here is why. Race 1 was borderline chaos even after the race. There was an intense battle, which included some contact between Pomorsky and Chambers, who were both fighting for P1, and they are both teammates, which I think had an impact on the championship standings. Verk had to pit multiple times during a 17-lap race, and that was because of car issues that she'd experienced from the previous day. Pats was set to have one of the best wildcard finishes in F1 Academy, and then she hit the wall of champions. But there were also some really interesting battles. For example, Pomorsky, Pats and Chong were all going for P9 and it was super close. However, Ferreira also had a really bad rejoin, which meant that she badly damaged Chong's car. And sadly, this kind of had a concertina effect, which meant that Krone and Chiconte collided. Lastly, Felbermayr got her first podium, which I was super happy about, until I found out that she was disqualified for being underweight. Race 2 was arguably calmer, but some of the on-track action definitely had me holding my breath. For example, there were so many overtakes during the first lap, it was a little hard to keep track of where everyone was. Speaking of overtakes, look at how many places these drivers made up. And it ended with a one-lap dash to the finish line, which saw an incredibly tight battle for the podium. And it ended up being a redemption race for Felbermayr because she got her maiden win. And then there was race 3, which had a real winners and losers situation. There were a number of lap 1 incidents, and one of those included Pats, and unfortunately this meant that she had to DNF. They did show how upset she was, and I'm not surprised that she felt that way. After all, people know that if you perform well as a wildcard, you are very likely to get a seat for the following season. Now there was an interesting team radio which I picked up on, and that was before a safety car restart where Gateman was told to be smart and work together, and I believe they were referring to her teammate Houseman. But we have previously seen a very similar team radio at a different race. And at that race, they ended up making contact and Gateman was not happy with Houseman. So it might be nothing, but it's also quite interesting that they've had to be reminded twice. But I do want to mention here that Houseman finished in P4, which was the second time she's finished that high. I was delighted for her because she has had a pretty rough time in F1 Academy. Similarly, Chong finished in P5, which was fantastic given what happened in race 2. Also, 3 safety cars were deployed due to collisions. But even with all of these restarts, Chambers was able to maintain a light to flag finish. And even though Lloyd didn't win any of the races, she did get second place in all 3 races. And as you may have guessed, that means that things have definitely changed in the championship. Firstly, Verk is no longer leading the Drivers' Championship, and Lloyd could now pick up a podium finish, which means that she's kind of pushed Pomorsky out. Meanwhile, in the Team Championship, Prema Racing have made a major jump from P3 to P1, even though coming into the weekend, Campos Racing were leading by quite an amount. But as I previously said, all it takes is one weekend for things to really change in F1 Academy.